Hello seekers, welcome to Punneit's Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. There is a solar eclipse happening on 2nd of October. And you know what's unique about this eclipse? Mercury, Ketu, Moon and Sun all are in Graha Yuddha. They are extremely close, within 2-3 degrees, at the center of Virgo zodiac sign, in Hasta Nakshatra. And this itself is creating a lot of changes, a lot of transformation in our lives. This is happening in the 6th house of the Kal Purush, which means it is going to trigger some hidden prarabdha karma. This can also trigger a kundali prarabdha, that means certain angles of karma that is present in our chart that are usually dormant, but this eclipse can trigger just like that. Now you can see suddenly major changes happening where you have no control. Suddenly your confidence can fluctuate, may shoot up, may go down. Suddenly you have this fear and you want to plan for upcoming disaster and you don't know what disaster is. It's just anxiety that is creeping up. And this can also create job-related challenges for people who have a weak Sun, a weak Mercury in their chart. Let's discuss on each ascendant what this eclipse has to offer. And I've also mentioned certain remedies. Let's discuss on that. But before that, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. It's going to rebrand. This channel is going to come up with a lot more specific content on Jyotish and much more. So subscribe, stay connected, like the video if you like this video and share the video among family and friends. If you want to take my consultation, you can directly book it from my website or drop me an email. And if you want to book a comprehensive 300 plus pages report, a Kundli PDF report that is system generated but kind of gives you a bird's eye view, a good thing to start your journey in Vedic astrology about your own horoscope, book that. The link is in the description box. Let's start the ascendant wise analysis. Aries. Now in case of Aries ascendant, if you observe that the solar eclipse will happen in your 6th house, a 5th lord going into an eclipse, Mercury, Ketu, Sun, and then Moon trying to join the party here. A combination of these 3 planets and the presence of Moon is definitely going to create a lot of psychological changes in your life. A 6th house is all about your prarabdha karma. 6th house is also about what you want to achieve in your life. 6th house is also about service. 6th house is also about your dedication. 6th house is also your obstacles that you want to win over. You want to, break through. All these things are possible when an eclipse happens in the 6th house, and this triggers a response. Also, for you, some past prarabdha karma will also trigger. This is also a Sarvapitra Amavasya. So the recommendation here will be that you should focus on being responsible towards your ancestors, like apologizing for anything wrong that you have done knowingly or unknowingly, respecting your elders, taking a promise that you will respect the elders in the society, not running away from the roles and responsibilities that are assigned to you. Does not matter how hard it is. That is the first step to resolve the 6th house energies. Now remember, this is Mercury, Ketu, Sun and Moon coming together. And this is not just a long gap here. Every planet is within 2-3 degrees. The Sun is at 15 degrees. Moon will be obviously between 11 to 15 degree. Ketu is at 12 degree. Mercury is at 16 degree. So you can understand how tightly placed is this transit, and the impact will be affecting your 5th house. It will be affecting your 3rd house. This can create unnecessary challenges with your siblings, especially your cousins. So if you are going to start something like a business with your cousins, you will have to be careful here. On the other hand, this is also going to be a bit challenging to people who are suffering from skin related issues, from someone who is facing autoimmune issues. So you need to focus more on health. Now, considering that the Jupiter is nicely placed in the 2nd house and Jupiter is about to go retrograde in the 2nd house, Venus is well placed in the 7th house, you will be able to with your sheer willpower achieve a lot. But this eclipse is going to trigger the 6th house energies and prarabdha karma. So at least there will be some events in your life that you will feel that you are not in control. So you should take it one step at a time, go with the flow. And because the 4th and the 5th house are coming together, 5th lords are coming together, matters related to real estate, matters related to giving property to your children can trigger a lot of conflicts in this time. Legally also, this can create certain challenges for a lot of Aries people, especially those who have a negative Sun or negative Mars in their chart. If you want to go into holistic healing, if you want to focus on holistic dieting, this is the right time. People who will also suddenly feel that they no longer want to continue with the job they are in, with the role they are performing, and suddenly you will want to shift and change the gear. That is also very much possible. It is a trigger. These solar eclipses are just a trigger impacting through 5th house. You may feel that you need to learn more. You may have to educate yourself. You may have to figure out something different. This trying something different while leaving what is running is going to be the theme of this transit. Now the question is, if you leave something that is already stable, then this can be a very high risk. Chanting Aditya Hriday Stotra, Surya, doing Surya Namaskar every day, and praying to Bhagwan Ganapati is a very good remedy. Taurus. Now in case of Taurus, this eclipse is happening in the 5th house. The 5th house is about education. The 5th house is about your knowledge, your children, your productivity, your expression. 5th house is also about romance. And this eclipse can trigger major changes in the way you deal with matters related to love, romance. So if you are into any relationship, you have to be very careful because this can trigger unexpected outcomes. This can create separation. This can create sudden change of desire. Maybe now you have a different expectation from your partner and you don't know where this is coming from. Also, 3rd and 4th lord, 2nd, 3rd, 4th lord are involved in this. This is going to be a time where you would want a sudden growth, a sudden perfection. So this can make you a perfectionist. Meanwhile, if things are not becoming the way you are, if things are not perfect, you would tend to leave it behind and you would want to do something else. This kind of emotion or feeling and this kind of, aggressive thought process is bad for you. What you should do is you should utilize the power of stationary Jupiter on your ascendant. See, Jupiter is about to go stationary and it will become retrograde very soon. From 9th of October, Jupiter is becoming retrograde on your ascendant. This Jupiter is aspecting this eclipse. Use this to unlock the mysteries of universe. This is going to be a knowledge-based eclipse. This can give you a lot of peace of mind. Suddenly you know what you need to leave and what you need to pursue. That trigger is the theme of the solar eclipse on 2nd of October. Now this is also accompanied by the presence of Saturn, a retrograde Saturn in the 10th house, which means that you need to also let go of a lot of things, while on other matters, you may have to rework a lot. So it has both aspects to it. Ketu, being in the 5th, may ask you to leave certain things, unlearn, whereas Saturn retrograde wants you to focus more on finding new avenues of learning. Why learning and education is important? Because it is the matter related to the 5th house. Praying to Mata Mahasaraswati, chanting Saraswati mantra is a very good remedy. Children who are about to give examination, children who are preparing for competitive examinations should be careful, because this means that suddenly you might feel the need to change your course or stream out of nowhere. This eclipse can trigger deep-seated thoughts and emotions and can bring it on the surface. Also, because of the Ketu energy, if you're suffering from anxiety, if you're suffering from any deep-seated, rooted trauma or unnecessary desire, and you want to get rid of it, this eclipse will give you that opportunity. Gemini. In case of Gemini, the eclipse will happen in your 4th house. A 4th house eclipse means that matters related to your heart, matters that are close to your heart, your emotions, your comfort zone is going to be impacted. Which also means that this is the high time that you will have to leave your comfort zone if you really want some success in life. Now, eclipses are triggers. Planets that are around that eclipse end up executing it. It's like a masala in the sabzi, in the vegetable. The spices that you add. This is going to change the flavor on how Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, Rahu are going to function. Now, consider that Mars is about to get debilitated in the second house and Jupiter is about to go retrograde in your 12th house. It only means that this can be a desperate need to get out of the comfort zone. This can be a desperate desire to leave the country, move to a different location. Maybe you're not happy with the family. Maybe you're not happy with how things are going in your own close circle. But calling it a quit is not the right thing to do. Here you will have to play smartly. You will have to be playing the balancing game here. Venus is stable in the 5th house. Do not burn the bridges. Don't spoil relationship. Also, the health of your mother can be a concern during this time. Do not buy any property, at least in the month of October. Considering that this eclipse is triggering 4th house energies, you may face certain problems in your existing assets. Drive carefully, and if you are purchasing something that is of higher value, you must ensure that you have insurance for that. Also, 4th house means your good night's sleep. It is your resting place also. So this is going to impact how you rest. You may feel restless. You may feel anxious. You may feel the need to work hard during this time. All is right, but don't burn your energy more than needed. Remember, Mars will be debilitated very soon. Don't burn your energies and try to preserve it as much as possible. As I said, try to maintain and create a work-life balance. Cancer Ascendant. Now, in case of Cancer Ascendant, the eclipse is happening in the 3rd house. A 3rd house eclipse means that it is going to impact your willpower, your power of expression. This is going to put you into a certain type of doubt, especially equations in the family, between members of the family. This can create certain dilemmas in your life. Maybe you want to do something, but the situation in the family is not permitting you to do what you want to do. This means that you might take a step back, and this will make you rethink. This can create fear in your mind. This can create doubts in your mind, and you have to be very careful here. Relationship with your siblings might get impacted because of this eclipse. And considering that these 4 planets are together in a Virgo zodiac sign, this means that this is going to make you focus more on the healing perspective. So people who are nurses, who are involved in the medical practice, who are involved in healing, will see great rise, great success, because that's your natural energy. And also, if you are in the Kark Rashi, Mars will enter the 1st house 18 days after the eclipse. This means after 2 weeks. This is going to create further doubt, especially in your career. So this can be a precursor to a future problem. The recommendation here is that you have to be very careful with how you speak, what you speak, where you speak, what words you use, how you write, what you do in social media. So keep a track on all that, and try to keep your body language very positive. Also, short distance travel may happen suddenly during this time, and a lot of to and fro in communication can also happen. So you have to be very patient during this time, and you have to show a true balance. You just have to feel good at heart and keep doing what you're doing with a lot of passion and a lot of resilience. 3rd house also represents your neighbors. 3rd house also represents your problems related to your shoulder and spine. This area can get affected, especially in, nowadays people are using are equipped with bad sleeping habits, bad mobile habits. You have to be careful, otherwise certain people who have a negative Ketu or Mercury in the chart, they can get affected with the spine or back problem, maybe spondylitis or something like that. Overall, this also can affect your hands. Cut down your nails, keep your hands clean, and This is a very good time for writers. This is a very good time to create a breakthrough communication pattern in your life. Say you were unable to speak in front of the people, you have this, you were shy of speaking, public speaking. This is the time to become very positive and expert at it. Leo. Now, in case of Leo, the eclipse is happening in the second house. A second house eclipse means this is going to impact the mental security, the financial security. This might make you feel very restless about the money, about the future expense, about the anticipation of a loss. All these things can trouble your mind. Venus in Libra in the third house means the steps that you will take to address these problems are going to create balance and peace. But what if you are addressing something that is non-existent? The problem itself will never happen. Then how will Venus help? See, Venus is here to help on actual problem, but this eclipse is going to create distractions. Your mind can create illusion, and you might imagine a problem in the future. This can create unexpected fear in your mind, maybe a fear of health issue about a family member, fear of sudden financial loss. Maybe you will remember the past and you will think that what if the past repeats itself? What if the history repeats itself? No, don't get scared. Jupiter is going to go retrograde in the 10th house, which is actually very good for you. See, this Jupiter in the 10th house is aspecting the second house. This only means that financially the steps that you will take will actually create breakthroughs. This is a good time to think about more and more savings. On the other hand, certain people who have a weak second house or a weak second lord in your horoscope may experience that you are breaking FDs, you are breaking your bank account, you are breaking your deposits for some urgency, for some emergency. Also, this can create fight between your family and your in-laws family. So if you are having any such marital dispute, try not to engage into a verbal war or say something about the family member of your life partner. This is the time when you will have to be very careful about your food. You may have to give up certain food habits at this time. Maybe certain type of food that is causing health challenges, you may have to give up that food. Diet correction, nutrition analysis is going to play a key role in your health as well as your mental ability to think in the right direction. A retrograde Saturn in the 7th house, Mars's energy and movement through the 11th house also shows that you are taking certain steps that are good for your business. That is going to bring major changes in your lifestyle. That is going to be very positive for your relationship. But this also means that you're focusing more on career and financial challenges rather than personal issues. You might be ignoring the emotional side of everything, the human side, and you are being overly practical. You are missing a point here. So when you are drawing a conclusion, when you are commanding something, when you are giving a statement, when you are committing something, ensure that you are not missing. You have a holistic bird's eye view rather than you are only seeing one pillar in the building. And if you are micromanaging things, you also need to have a macro look at the situation so that you get the bigger picture here. Praying to Bhagwan Ganesh by chanting Ganesh Kavach is a very good remedy. Virgo zodiac sign. In case of Virgo, the entire eclipse is happening on your ascendant. So definitely this is going to impact your mind, your personality, and you are going to do things that will bring a major shift in your life. This eclipse will act as the biggest trigger, but you will have to also give up a lot of control and a lot of things. Say you are delegating the task and you are no longer involved in it. The surroundings may affect you, impact you a lot, and you will try to be somebody else. This is a dangerous thing. You try to keep your originality and try to be who you are. Try to be honest and true to yourself. First, you need to be your own good friend before you make somebody else your friend or well-wisher. A second house Venus is very good, a 9th house Jupiter, and a 10th house Mars. All these three planets are good, nicely placed for a bright career, for financial success, Also, with respect to health, this will improve your health provided you focus on quitting unnecessary eating, smoking, bad habits. And if you want to do all that, this is the best time. You can take suggestion with a nutritionist. You can take suggestion with a doctor. If you are having any anxiety issue, giving up the triggers is going to be helpful here. This is also going to help you find those triggers that brings the anxiety in you, that brings that mental problems. Also, this is going to reshape you as a person. This is going to make you rethink about your role, about your future. So it's more like it's a transit. It's an eclipse of introspection. You're going deep within. You are analyzing your role in society, your role in life. What is your future? So it's more self-centered, but it is also heavily guided by the circumstance. You have to be very careful here, because on one side you're thinking about yourself, good for you, but if this is getting triggered by a stimulus coming externally, then the question is that, are you changing yourself because somebody said so, or you really wanted that change in your life? This question you should ask, that if you're doing something, why you're doing that in first place? Is it because you want it, or is it because somebody else told you? With respect to foreign travel, things may happen. You may break the inhibitions and break the jinx and do the impossible during this time. And also, this is a time when your expectations will meet, but in a very different fashion. Say you went to buy you want to buy a black shirt, but went on buying a black t-shirt. You had got something black to wear, but no, it's not the shirt, but a t-shirt. So this type of variations might happen. Fulfillment of expectation will also happen, but you have to be careful about how you convey yourself, because people will not understand you. So here, if you're trying to open up, if you're trying to speak your heart, then find the right avenue and the right set of people. Otherwise, you will be unheard, and this can create depression, anxiety, gloomy nature, bad and sad feeling about yourself, low confidence. It's better to find the right set of people. Meditate, focus on your third eye chakra, and if possible, get the healing done. Libra. Now, Libra is going to see a very interesting side of the eclipse. This is going to question your ideas. This is going to challenge you. This is going to create thoughts in your mind, especially at night, that will create doubt, that will plant the seed of doubt in your mind. You know why? Because this eclipse is happening in your 12th house. 12th house is the house of subconscious mind. If you have a business related to export and import, you have to be careful. Although the ascendant is seeing a Venus placement, which is very good. Venus being in the Lagna is giving power to the ascendant, but on an overall picture, this can be a little challenging. You can also have a visit to the hospital. This can also create medical expenses, this at least for a family member. What you have to do is you have to keep on moving in the right direction. You have to see the brighter side of life. You have to see that certain expenses can't be controlled, and you just have to let it be. This is not a time that you will do any kind of speculative investment. This is not a time that you will focus on the negative side of life. Don't be pessimistic. Your optimistic attitude is extremely necessary at this point. If you become pessimistic, this can create a lot of psychological problems. Remember, Sun is Maranakarka and 11th house Lord is Surya in your case. When the Sun is the 11th Lord and it goes in the 12th house, this naturally drains your wealth and energy. Maybe you are very motivated to do something, but suddenly you hear something and that demotivates you. Not everything that demotivates you is actually wrong. Sometimes your motivation can be wrongly placed. So here you have to deal things case by case, event by event, and at a very practical level. Chanting Ganesh Atharva Shirsh, donating money for the people who are unwell and who are sick is a very good way of handling the energy. Respect your grandparents and chant Pitra Gayatri mantra. Scorpio. Now, in case of Scorpio as an ascendant, the eclipse is happening in your 11th house. Therefore, it is impacting the confidence. It is impacting the network circle. So what it will do is that you will see things happening around you, and that will affect you a lot. So try to remain in a position where you are unaffected by situations around you, you are unaffected by the news, you are unaffected by the information overdose that is happening, because this is going to create a lot of problems in your mind otherwise. Try not to believe everything that you get to hear during this time. Focus on building your relationship with your supervisors, seniors, and try to establish some positive connection. But this is also a time when you will see that lot of let go will happen. You will let go many relations that are toxic, that are negative at this point of time. This is also a time frame where the energies in your mind are going to focus more on your own profits. You would focus on your own gains, and there's nothing wrong in this, but this can make you a little bit selfish. Also, you will rely on certain people, but you may be betrayed by them, or at least you will think, and you will decide you will take certain decisions in your life on the basis of who is your well-wisher and who is your enemy, and there is where the mistakes can happen. So you will have to be very careful who you tag as your friend and who you tag as your enemy. Few of the associations will break and few new associations will begin. A great time to start a new business partnership at this point. Usually 11th house is all about gains. 11th house is all about focusing on doing something new. It's a great time for young entrepreneurs. It's a great time for someone who is learning on the go. A great time to switch your career, switch your domain, and shift into an entirely new dimension. For people who have an extremely bad sun, this can also be a time which triggers job loss in the upcoming 4 to 5 months. If you're running a Sun Mahadasha or Antardasha, you need to be slightly careful with your income. If your income is less in comparison to your expense, you may have to start saving more and more. Also, this is the time that you should start praying to Bhagwan Ganesh by chanting Ganesh Stotram, Ganesh Atharva Shirsha, or Ganesh Kavacha. 11th house is also about your elder siblings. 11th house is also about your ability to donate and give. So start donating some amount to the people in need. Start building your good relations with your elder siblings, be it your own brother, sister, or cousins. And this is also the time when you will have to step up to be the elder one. And that is the role that you have to fulfill. The shoes that you will fill is very, very heavy. You need to be prepared and you need to focus more on being the right person and getting things done rather than worrying how things will be done. Sagittarius. Now, in case of Sagittarius, this eclipse is beautiful for you. Do you know why? Because this is happening in your 10th house. This will change the way you think about reputation, designation, your career. This is also going to bring in more active attitude in your life. You will let go of the unnecessary and focus on exactly what is necessary at this moment, and maybe this is what you need. For Sagittarius, this eclipse is going to do wonders, especially because Mercury is exalt. 8th house moon is bringing the change. 9th house sun is coming up with Ketu, and this is an destiny altering transit. Spiritually, this is going to give you a lot of success. People who are looking for promotion, you will get promotion. People who are looking for job change or career change will see that this will trigger that. Also, this is also good for diversification. If you have a business and you want to diversify, you want to start something new, it's a very good time for that. Now, considering that Jupiter will go retrograde in your 6th house, all you have to do is try to have a balance between work and personal life. You have to see that you're indulging more in your personal life compared to your career. There has to be a slight shift because Ketu wants you to take away the focus to a certain extent and focus on the 4th house, which is Rahu's domain. Which means you also stand to gain property during this time. You will build assets during this time, but don't play a blind game here, blind shot. Otherwise, this can you can see that the energies can get misdirected and the confidence can immediately become a overconfidence. You need to follow a follow a pattern, you need to follow a strategy. And if you're doing that, if you're going one step at a time, you will be able to achieve a lot during this time. Try to stay away from controversies, because controversies can create a lot of trouble in your life. This can create reputation damage. But because Venus, which is in your 11th house, which is your 11th lord, is in a very good position, you will ultimately stand to gain. So therefore, chanting Shukra mantra, Mahalakshmi mantra, chanting Shri Suktam is a very effective remedy for Sagittarius. Now, considering that Mercury is getting impacted because of all this, this can alter the equation in marriage. This can alter how you behave with your life partner and how they behave with you. So here you will have to give it some time if there are problems, and allow the eclipse to create a chain reaction that helps you focus more on bringing a positive change. Change is inevitable, be it marriage or career. On the other hand, the next day of eclipse is Navratra. So start chanting Durga mantra, read Durga Saptashati, Durga Kavach, Devi Suktam, and all that will help you in the long run. Doing Hanuman Jap, Hanuman Chalisa is also helpful. Capricorn. Now, in case of Capricorn, the eclipse is happening in the 9th house. And this means this is going to question and change your belief system. This is also going to make you rethink about your plans in life. This is also going to make you rethink about your destiny, what you're made to, why you are here on the earth, why you are doing what you're doing. All these deeply spiritual, philosophical thoughts will come in your mind. Also, you will question your role and responsibility towards people you love. Maybe you are exhausted and you are overwhelmed, and now you want some relief. Now you want to undo the burden. You want to let go of these things, let go of the burden. You want to undo a lot of things in your life. Be very careful, because Rahu in the 3rd house can create misunderstandings with what is in your heart and what you speak. Because this eclipse may trigger a certain emotion. Maybe you can justify right, but the way you communicate may create more doubts, and things can go against you rather than things going in your favor. So be very careful. That's the first thing. Second thing, 9th house also means long distance journeys. So people who want to travel abroad, who want to leave their citizenship, this eclipse might trigger those events, or maybe this idea will come in your mind to forever move from one location to the other location, more like a permanent movement. On the other hand, people who are involved into the research work, people who want to do deeper studies like philosophical studies, if you want to do doctorate, this is going to also give you a lot of ideas to move in that direction. And if you're already facing a problem, then this is going to take that problem away. 5th house Jupiter aspecting this means that a lot of unlearning and relearning will happen for you. If you stick to your own core belief, and if you do not have this flexibility to learn and create a new adaptation to the new knowledge, if you don't adapt to the new knowledge, then this can create a lot of challenges for you. This can create anxiety. This can create confidence issues. This can make you feel that whatever you know, your reality, your existence will come into question. This can create existential crisis, midlife crisis for a lot of people. You may desperately try to find anchoring in your life. Grounding meditation is very important during this time. Providing yourself a reason, a purpose, is very critical for most of the people, especially if your moon is afflicted and you are a Capricorn ascendant. And when you're traveling abroad, when you're traveling for long distance, if you're traveling overseas, your expenses may also increase a bit. This eclipse is also going to impact marriage and your equation with your in-laws, and maybe you will say something or you will do something that can break the relationship. So be very careful, because there are certain relations you can't afford to lose. Just like you can't change your neighbor in the terms of geopolitics, there are certain things which you cannot change. Don't even try to change, but maybe you can create some immediate measures. You can take certain decisions that brings relief. And for that, you have to pray to Bhagwan Ganesh by chanting Ganesh Atharva Shirsha. Aquarius. Now, in case of Aquarius, the eclipse is happening in the 8th house. So now you have to understand that your ascendant is seeing a retrograde Saturn, your 4th house is going to see a retrograde Jupiter. And just a week before Jupiter becomes retrograde, there is a solar eclipse in your Ashtam Bhav, while 8th Lord Mercury is in the 8th house. This is going to trigger major changes and has a major impact in your life. You will take certain decisions which are bold that you have not taken before, which is in a way good for you, but you will have to be very careful that in order to take some bold chances, you should not take too much of risk. There has to be a backup plan in whatever you do. Does not matter if it's a small activity or a bigger activity. You should have a backup plan. This is also going to create certain differences with your in-laws family also. Now, Sun is your 7th Lord, and solar eclipse means Sun is getting impacted because of Ketu. This also means that there will be a certain detachment and association, both with your business partner, with your life partner. That means the terms will change. Now, it does not mean divorce, or it does not mean breakup or separation. Because Mercury is present there, it means that there will be challenges that you will be facing in life, and in order to mitigate the risk, in order to face the challenge, find a solution, you may have to do certain sacrifices. Now, 8th house is house of secrets. With the eclipse in the 8th house, your secrets can come back biting you. So it's best that you do not keep anything hidden. It is best that you should be very open and transparent, especially to people who are your loved ones. Otherwise, this can create huge mistrust, and this can create long-term impact on relationship. And if you are in a proper business partnership, you have to be transparent on investments, on money, on expenses. Otherwise, this can create a long-term impact, and that might not be good for your business. Now, 8th house planets are going to create insecurities. You will try to invest your savings at areas where you will have a lot of doubts, but you may take a risk. Now, whatever you do, have a strategy. Half-hearted actions will be very bad for you. The presence of Mars in the 5th house, the presence of Venus in the 9th house is a wish-fulfilling placement. It only means that whatever you do, if you do it with a perspective of balancing. Now, balancing does not mean you will get. Balancing also means that you will give. If you follow that pattern and routine, you will be able to do much better in life. Sudden travel may happen. You may see sudden change in the health of your family members, and some unexpected outcomes may come in your life that will impact people around you. The best way to manage: meditate, invest your time in spiritual practices, and take a deep breath. Pisces. Now, in case of Pisces, the eclipse will happen in your 7th house. 7th house means something that is connected to marriage, business, or something that is connected to your surroundings. Something that is happening right in front of you. So you may not experience good things around you. You may experience battles, conflicts, moral challenges. All these might happen when the eclipse happens. These are the triggers that can happen. Like, say, in the family or in the marriage, you get to hear something that questions the morality, questions your own stand, whose side you are on. That can be a challenging thing. Dharma Sankat is what you call. Now, in all these situations, you need to focus more on yourself, how to invest things. A little bit of selfishness will go a long way here. Now, With the 7th house energies getting impacted, you need to be very careful in your marriage, in your business partnerships. And this is the time to let go few things, ignore few things, obviously not crossing the line, but ignoring few things will save your relationship, will save your business. It's a great time for entrepreneurships. It's a great time for entrepreneurs. It's a great time to start a new business, diversify. It's a great time to think about closing the not profit-giving branch of your business and maybe redoing something. If you are into the business of technology, if you are into the business of communication, if you are into the business of eyewear, this is going to work wonderful. Especially eye doctors who are Pisces ascendant will see positive growth. Now, 7th house means anything that is not you. And an eclipse means you might experience that you are forced to draw your attention to yourself. You are forced to be selfish. Maybe nobody is understanding you. In such a situation, chanting Bhagwan Vishnu mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Vishnu Shodashanama Stotra, Vishnu Sahasranam will work wonderful. On the other hand, if you face any problems related to business, doing a Havan of Bhagwan Ganesh, doing a Navachandi Havan or praying to Mata Mahalakshmi will be very helpful. But let me tell you one more thing. Do not believe in every trigger. Don't become emotional at everything that happens around you. Try to be a little reserved and isolated. And try to not also on reverse create an influence on everybody that is around you. It's like you are your own self, they are themselves.